fucking is. What's trending right now is Stephen fucking A. fucking Smith. Hey, look, the blacks don't speak for him, just to let y'all know. We do not endorse none of the fuck shit this fuck shit.
I'm not too sure anybody speaks for
when
him.
you go talk to your buddies, not a racial thing. It's like, hey, man, we don't come together. You don't know what I'm talking about. I'll explain on it.
Yeah, please.
I do not endorse any of that shit. I put my time. I've gotten nosebleeds. I got knocked down. I don't do none of that shit.
I think that's the problem. I don't think he's ever gotten hit. He might train. He put that little video out. I don't think he's ever gotten hit.
Let's give him some
backstory.
backstory.
Never been in front of somebody that's trying to hurt you.
It's a fucking pussy. So, just recently, Cowboy, Donald Cowboy Cerrone and Conor McGregor fought, right? Yep. Conor McGregor was on a 15-month hiatus. He was beating up old people in the bar and shit, making money. You know, shit.
Well, that old guy ate that punch.
Gets a little crazy. Yeah, he did pretty good. Gets a little crazy. Donald's our man. Shout out Donald and Brian and all the crew at Cowboy Fights. They allow me to do media, but I'm trying to be unbiased as I can. We ride for Donald because I like him a lot, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm a big fan of Conor. So they get in there. People are rooting for either side or whatever. It's a 40-second fight. Conor stuffs the takedown. Donald gets a little dazed, some pretty cool shoulder strikes. Ends up with a head kick. TKO finish off of punches, right? As fighters, watching that fight and understanding all of the variables and how you can have a game plan and shit doesn't work, what do you think about the ending? Do you think it was too early? Do you think Cowboy showed any kind of signs of quitting? Segue to the Stephen A. Smith comment.
Nah,
what's your thoughts about that?
Cowboy didn't quit. Cowboy ain't never quit, but Cowboy was hurt. I mean, at the end of the day, he was hurt. Yeah, he got hurt from the shoulder strikes. You could tell the way he carried himself when he come back out and threw his kick. He threw a good kick, but it was a lazy kick. Cowboy don't throw lazy kicks. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. So you're still a little dazed, equilibrium maybe thrown off.
But he knew he was getting ready to get hit, so he threw something. And then forward pressure, he was backing up a little bit. He didn't have forward momentum, which Cowboy needs to fight off forward momentum. Cowboy's not a backup fighter. He don't like to fight going backwards. And Conor made his living, which people don't realize when he was an amateur, backing up. He was a counter fighter. If you go back for like his first 20 fights, he was a counter fighter.
Oh shit!
He didn't come forward. Not until he got confidence in his striking did he come forward, and that's what you see from UFC.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But if you look at the best knockout everybody watches, 13 seconds on Jose Aldo, he didn't come forward. It was a counter.
What was it?
Straight left.
Straight left.
He took a straight step back and straight left. But he knew he got Jose emotional, religion, all that other shit.
Yeah.
He knew he was coming out. He come forward, took a step back, kept his calm. Jose wasn't calm. He come forward.
So with the Cowboy Conor shit, you didn't see any quit. You saw good game plan that worked, I assume, for Conor, and it just didn't work out for Donald. It was as simple as that. It just didn't work for him that night. It wasn't like he went in there willing to throw the fight. That was some of the other shit you heard.
It's like everybody's saying. Everybody's saying that he threw the fight. He got money.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
you can tell.
Not that it's impossible. We know in sports that shit has happened all the time. But in this case,
because even just from what I was able to see and kind of just reeling it back, you could tell that after that, that was
the knee. It was the left hand.
And
he dipped and he timed the knee,
and then when he hit that stumble back, you can see in his eyes like
I'm not there.
Yeah, like I'm not all the way there.
Oh, he's a great fucking actor. He's getting to acting. Yeah, if he could really pull
that would be an Oscar. That would be an Oscar nomination.
What started it all was the shoulder strikes and nobody, you know what I mean? In clinch, you put your head on that side. He didn't expect it. I mean, he didn't.
At that
he
much
dropped
force.
that level and came back up. Cowboys looking for a place to put his head on that side. Didn't expect it. He got him 3 times. But if you ever had your nose broken, mine sits off to the side a little bit. It throws everything off for a second. It's not your equilibrium like getting knocked out. Your eyes well up. You got tears and this pain right in your nose, and it'll go away and you fight through it. But you need that time.
How much time do you think you would need?
20, 30 seconds. He didn't get that.
Yeah, he didn't.
He threw that kick right away because he knew something was wrong. But then you can watch he backed up. He backed up. He was looking for his time, and
just to get the breather.
He didn't give him to him.
What's your thoughts about that old Jakey Jake? Did he quit?
Absolutely not. I think that Conor I like because that Conor understood. I have one way I can hurt him. He has, the longer this goes, he has a plethora of ways to hurt me. because Cowboy has ungodly power. He's a black belt.
Great jiu-jitsu.
It's absurd.
Nasty off his back.
It's absurd. Where you put him, he's dangerous. Conor knew that. That Conor going through fight week, the way he spoke differently, and I hate Conor for years. I rode with him when he first came to the UFC. Then he started doing that promotional shit, and I just couldn't ride with him that point.
By the way, I loved it. But go ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't.
But like shit.
But
because you're a big shit talker.
I loved every second of it.
Because you're a shit talker.
Especially when it came to fruition. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Everybody talks shit.
But
you're like, I'm going to bust everybody's ass today, and you do it. I'm like, you cocky fuck. I like you.
So,
but go ahead.
Yeah. So that Conor, he was mature because of tons of reasons for why. We'll get into that if you want. I think he is more mature now. But he showed up and said, I have one way I got to do this. I know he's a slow starter. I know what I can do. I have to jump on him early, and I have to do it early. Because the longer this goes, the higher the likelihood that I'm going to get stopped with something. Because Cowboy just put people out with, at any point in time, he can just push
Doesn't
you out.
really get tired. Can fight everywhere. Tough as a motherfucker.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And he did that, and that showed to me, because I'm big on your personality is based on how you fight. That kind of showed up, hands up, not all that movement, fancy, cocky
Very
shit.
calculated.
Showed up and said, nah, I got to get rid of you quick. So that kind of I like. And
how many fights do you got? Do you have? Do you got? Fuck. How many fights you got, Paul?
20. I want to say 21.
Okay, so as you guys can see, number one, I brought him on the show for a fucking reason, right? I'm not just bringing people out here like myself. Imagine me bringing myself on. I got 3 fights and lost 2 of them because I was fat. But what I was trying to make a comparison is that you got 2 people who are qualified to talk about the subject, right? Stephen A. Mr. Smith. Now, I thought I read the quote. I don't have it readily, but I think he was just trying to, he was saying that he saw something that made him think Cowboy quit. And Joe Rogan, I think on the podcast he did with, I forgot the guy's name. Damn, I can't remember his name.
Didn't even argue that, though.
Yeah, well, he was pretty much saying, first of all, you don't even have the right to even say some shit like that. Like, you haven't given any of your blood, sweat, and tears to the sport. You basically are there because you do drive traffic because you're a known face in a commodity, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a real thing.
Right.
We do need people, especially in the beginning of MMA, we needed people who were like famous or outside the bubble to say, hey, you guys should check this shit out. But what you're saying that you could do with football players, right? You could say, oh, man, fucking Brady isn't this. So look at the Ravens. They do the Ravens again. Fighters are much more sensitive, something that Joe was alluding to. And he was like, man, you can run to one of these motherfuckers. They're not going to just take it as you just talking off the cuff and being funny. You might get fucked up in the elevator. Or you'll definitely get checked to the point where you won't feel safe.
Either Frank Mir said it or one of Frank Mir's podcasts or Joe Rogan was like, yeah, you can say that, but what happens when he meets you in the elevator?
Yeah, but Joe Rogan's like, it's an eventuality of you being a part of these shows in Vegas. You're gonna run to one of these motherfuckers. And actually, Donald may throw him a little like, you know what, man, you shouldn't say that. But you run to fucking one thing they say, Nate Diaz or Jorge, it's gonna be a problem, bro.
Yeah. He'll check you in the back.
People call me a quitter. That's like That's like calling a mother who loves her child a bad mother. It's like one of the things you just don't say.
Right. You could call somebody a quitter, okay? But look at Donald's track record. He's not a quitter.
The resume is big.
Look at who he's fought, what he's done, and how he's gotten there.
Conor,
he would have got more money if he would have beat a lot more money if he would have been. What did he quit for?
Right.
You know what I mean? He hasn't quit in any fights
ever.
You know what I mean?
Conor put him in position to where he was hurt and stopped him. That isn't. He looked like he froze. Yeah, he froze because he got rocked with something. Mm-hmm. That's someone else doing. That's Conor. That's taken away from Conor. Conor did something to him to make him freeze, to make him go, "Oh fuck, I'm hurt. I gotta recover." Now.
So check this out.
Conor's flat out good. Period.
Oh, he's really great. To really be honest.
But Cowboy's tailor made for Conor.
His style. They kept saying that. So break that down. What do you mean when you say
so?
Tailor made?
The biggest thing, I love Cowboy, and I think Cowboy's one of the best ever. And I would put him in the Hall of Fame without winning a belt. I don't know who else you can say that hasn't won a belt.
That's crazy.
That's an automatic Hall of Famer.
He's really that good.
That's really good then.
The people that he's fought, period. And he can, anyway. But Cowboy never moves his head. His head is always on line.
Right on that center line.
And he never moves his head. His right hand drops all the time when you go to throw a punch at him. But if you're straight down the line, that left only comes one way, and McGregor hides it very, very well. He tucks it in, it's straight, it comes off his shoulder, and it comes straight down the line. If you're not moving your head, it's easy. It's an easy target.
Even with Stephen A. Smith's, right? He doesn't have the experience. Does he get a pass? Like, for instance, if I bring my mom, right, and my mom's watching a fight, and for whatever reason, she thinks that person quit, even though it's like, Mom, you don't know what you're talking about. From her point of view, is this still valid? Because it's like, well, I'm just going off what I see, or can you not make those type of
but you're gonna get backlash.
You're gonna get, and someone has to explain it to you. It's their duty. Someone who's more knowledgeable will be like, listen, this is what's really going on.
So we saw the videos of him throwing Stephen A. Smith throwing his wild hooks and
fucking suck,
whatever the hell that was that he was throwing with his trainer. First off, his trainer, the one that was holding pads.
I think they should always get whipped. It's almost like the parent with the badass kid.
If you're not gonna put your hand up, look at everybody's like, man, that punch is horrible. That punch is horrible. I think Vince made a comment on Facebook the other day. I said, look at the punch look at the hand that he's not throwing. His left hand was at his hip. How do you not slap him? His other hand's not up.
First thing I would
get paid.
Pop, put your hands
up.
up.
The biggest thing is Stephen A. Smith needs to get hit, and then you can talk.
Yeah.
That's it. If you look like shit and throwing punches, that's fine. But get hit first, and then come back and say he quit.
If you're going to do that, and I understand why they probably put him up there because the big money fight, ESPN, get all these people, whatever. If he has to sit there, you have to play the Mike Goldberg, all these people, whatever.
Yeah, that's all I ask.
Feel like
the thing
pain.
is, if you're going to do that, and I understand why they probably put him up there because the big money fight, ESPN, get all these people, whatever. If he has to sit there, you have to play the Mike Goldberg, the Goldberg perspective where you asking Joe Rogan stuff, and you set him up.
Play by play.
We're like, I'm here. You're the expert. I'm trying to play the perspective of like the fan.
That goes against his
brand.
What's
happening? What's happening right now, Joe?
But see, his brand is like, I know what I'm talking about. This is some bullshit. You see what the fuck is going on? Fuck it. That's what he's doing.
They set him up for that, and you know that he's gonna do shit like that.
You know he is. He had a response. Y'all guys see the response?
Oh yeah, I appreciate your perspective, but you're wrong.
Yeah, so he pretty much.
That's what put me over the edge with him.
For Rogan,
he talked directly
to Rogan and said, "You're wrong.
You're wrong. I know but this is what he's doing. It's fucking genius for Stephen A.
Okay? It is.
Yeah. He's already famous, right?
Yeah.
But he's famous in his world.
He's trying to get in this world.
He's gonna go on Joe Rogan's podcast. They're gonna have a 3-hour discussion about all this shit. They're gonna hug and make up or not. Either way, he's gonna get either more fans, haters.
Stephen A. Smith runs off conflict.
He knows what he's fucking doing.
You know what I mean?
He added Joe. That's it.
The United States in general runs off conflict right now.
Oh, Paul's talking some shit.
It is.
I say for motherfucking is